Hi, this is Jay here from Door of Hope Learning Center, and here with Kara Reynolds, and we're having a little discussion today about your daughter, Miss Kennedy.
Yes.
Who has done some amazing things in the last few months. I'm going to share with you about where she started from. How old is she now?
She's 6.
She just turned 6,
in
right?
January, yes.
Yeah, so she's been in kindergarten.
Yes.
This year.
Mm-hmm.
When Kennedy first came here, you guys were kind of debating what's going to happen next year. Is there a chance that we're going to be able to do what? What were you thinking?
Yeah, the original concern was she was going into kindergarten. She had been in preschool, and she wasn't progressing or retaining any of the information. So we wanted to, over the summer, do something leading into kindergarten to get give her some tools that would help her as she moved forward. And about a month into school, 2 months into school,
Into kindergarten,
her teacher sat down with us and wasn't really sure that she wouldn't have to repeat kindergarten.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was 6 months ago.
Okay. Now, when she came here, first off, how did you guys end up here? What?
So a really good friend of mine, her daughter had completed the program with Miss Karen. Mm-hmm. And in talking to her, probably I had concerns for a couple of years with Kennedy. So this was a process. I had reached out to some friends, and they had told me about some different things, and my close friend, her daughter went through this, and she had amazing results. Was night and day with her confidence in her.
After coming here?
Yes.
Confidence.
Yes.
That's a word we often hear. It's usually the first thing parents
Yeah.
tell us they see, even
Yeah.
before the kids are really grasping where they're going or how they're going to read or how to use the educational tools that we give them. Parents are going, they're just so much more confident.
Yeah.
So
We
that's
definitely
cool.
saw that with Kennedy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen some amazing changes. When she first got here, explain kind of what you guys saw in her, what her avoidance behaviors were,
So
things like
we
that.
would be out at a restaurant, for example, and like we did with our older 2 kids or with our nieces and nephews, we're pointing out letters like, what letter is this or what letter is that? And Kennedy, I even had flashcards in the car that I
You're a
would
good mama,
hold
you
up
are.
and try and have her read. And
Yeah.
she would kind of joke around, be like, oh, I know that, I don't need to do that.
Wow.
Or if we were in a restaurant, I remember once it crushed my husband because my nephew's a year younger than her, and we were looking at letters like, what is this? And he said what the letter was, and she kind of like dug her head down and was like, I don't need to do this. So she knew, she was smart enough to know she didn't know the information that she probably should have
And it was
understood.
bothering her. That's why
Yes,
she's
it bothered
acting
her a
that
lot.
way, yeah.
Yes, it did.
Wow.
It bothered her a lot.
There are all kinds of avoidance mechanisms when kids are going through stuff like that. They don't want to feel dumb.
Yes.
They don't want to feel like they don't know. And yet when they get in that environment where the people know that are their peers and they don't, it becomes a real horrible struggle.
Yeah, which was
for them.
our biggest concern, was we didn't want her starting school already with low confidence to set that kind of stage for school.
The struggle that goes on certainly has an effect on parents as well, right?
Oh, 100, probably more than it does on the children.
Because you
Emotionally.
know
Yes.
what. And you're sitting there looking, you know the child's bright.
Yes.
Almost all the kids we get coming through here are bright kids in and of themselves. They just have a weakness in this area.
Yeah.
And Kennedy, she's as bright as sharp
Very,
as a
very,
tack.
very sharp. Very
Yeah.
sharp little girl.
But she had not the ability to interpret these signs that we call language. And so it was really disruptive. I remember when she first got here, Karen would tell me after some sessions that she just didn't even want to look at a letter.
Yeah. That's how she was with us.
Yeah, didn't even want to look at a letter. And then when Karen started giving her direction, putting a little more pressure on her than anybody else had, the avoidance technique was, okay, now I'm going to cry.
I can see that.
You know, and it's not something that they can do anything about. You know, they don't know what to do.
Well, and especially like because she was used to doing that with us, and as her parents, we're more sensitive, or her grandparents or her brother and sister are more sensitive to that crying. So it was time to bring someone else in who was going to have a little tougher skin.
Bring a different trainer in.
Yes.
Yeah. And on top of that, the problem is that you guys, what ends up happening all the time with parents is you only know what you know. You don't know how to train in any other way. And it doesn't work, and it doesn't work, and it doesn't work, and you keep going, why aren't they getting it? You're baffled. And I mean, truly.
It was years of my mommy heart saying something was just...
What's wrong? And you don't have answers.
Right.
That's so typical.
Yeah.
You don't have answers.
Yeah.
And that's when the door of hope comes into play.
100%.
Yeah. And you walk through that door, and it's amazing how many people, as soon as they walk through the door, they somehow just are able in their hearts to sense there's hope.
Right.
It's something different here.
We definitely felt that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. The primary things that are being addressed with her is giving her the right tools to be able to work with so that she can interpret. She's been doing really good for a kindergartner.
She's been doing amazing.
She has just really, once, and again, our biggest thing that we have to, in the beginning, help the kids get through is to know that this is a safe place, to know that it's okay to make mistakes. You don't have to run from them. You just have to stand there and let us help you learn how to address them.
Yeah.
And once she got past the, I can't, I won't, which is so normal. I mean, all kids do it just in different ways.
Yeah.
And once she got past that, man, she has just started flying.
Yes. I mean, the fact that she just tested for her fourth quarter and knew all of her sight words, which they had to know 90 by the end of the year. Back in October, we had no idea how that was going to even be possible.
You could say you had no hope for that being
I had
hope. Did you?
I did. I had hope. She's a very strong little girl, and she's a hard worker. She's very determined when she wants something.
Yeah.
And I had hope that we would be on our way there. I just didn't know if we would get all the way there. Yeah.
Last week she made it, huh?
Just 2 days ago she did.
2 days ago she made it. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
That is really good news. High five, girl. That's
Thanks,
so
Jay.
exciting. That's so exciting. Any other changes that you've seen? That
her confidence level
continues
was probably
to
the
skyrocket?
first. That was probably the first thing that we really saw change. In school, when she was in preschool, they had a system. If they didn't participate on the rug to try, then they would get their clip moved down. And she didn't know, so she wouldn't try. So she just didn't really want to go to school. Well, in working with Miss Karen and her kindergarten teacher, we had great communication between the three of us.
Awesome.
So we were all on the same team. And
that sure helps, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. It's, I will say, on the parent end, it's a huge commitment.
It is.
And there are some tough days.
Tough decisions, tough choices, and tough days.
Sometimes it's hard. You're tired and you don't want to come,
and
even as a grown up.
And they're tired and they don't want to come, and so you're both going.
But I would do it all over again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
To see where she is and how much she's blossomed.
Well, virtually every one of the students that come here end up going through different stages, and they hit something that's hard again,
Yeah.
You know, and they don't want to do it any more than you and I want to do it.
Yeah.
When we hit something really hard, we're
Yeah.
like going, yeah, and they'll just bow out.
Right.
And yet, when they get here, Karen says, no, this is what we got to do. And those children at that point have to make a decision. Am I going to go through this, or am I going to, try and
Right.
cop out? And,
We've been coming for, 9 months? Almost, was it 9 months?
About 9
There's
months.
only been one time that Kennedy cried and did not want to come.
wow.
And it's
Only
hard.
once? That's
only
good.
one time. She's fallen asleep on the way here, and she's fallen asleep on the way home.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, but only one time has she really not wanted to come. Every other time, do I have miscarriages today? Do I have miscarriages today?
Yeah.
It becomes a part of her routine. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, different kids respond in different ways.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
her, just seeing, for me, there was a shift that was made about 3 months ago that was major.
That's about right, yeah.
major.
Yeah.
Before there had been incremental
Yes.
changes, and this was just, yeah. And ever since then, it's been
Yes.
pedal to the metal, and that girl's just been flying.
Yes.
So we're really happy for her, and thank you for
Thank you,
sharing.
guys, for everything, really.
You bet. You bet. Yay.